Plengerdy and Jimmy Cromulent's marketing ramblings.
What does a saxophone player and a DJ have in common? Your turn. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what's the big news then, Glenn? Go on, what's the big news?
The big news is that we don't know what we're doing yet. They say Fortune magazine had an article in August about how the homepage is dead. In fact, I'll read the top line of it. They call it the Great Click Recession. Now, not to be confused with the economic recession, what they're talking about is basically clicks and through on Google and so on. And it reads, in 2024, nearly 60% of all Google searches ended without a single click, compared to just 26% in 2022. This isn't a gradual decline, it's a behavioral revolution. And it got me to thinking, okay, how do we explain that to people in real terms?
So most of the time now when you search on search engines like Google, there's an AI bit at the top and it just tells you the answer, because Google's aim has always been to give the best answer to questions. Otherwise, you'll go search in different places. And that means that they've decided that the easiest way to do that is not to send people to pages. It's just to give people the answer there and then. So that's not on everything. Obviously, Google's got an ads business. They still want to keep going. Must be a really, really difficult time for them right now.
Well, in a way, then, there's two things that come out of that. Number one is Google has created their own worst enemy.
Right.
Second, that would then lead, if the homepage is dead, then technically SEO as we know it today is becoming either obsolete or dead too.
Completely.
Well, how would you translate that from a technical world to an everyday, here's how it affects you kind of thing?
A lot of the techniques that you might have used up to now to grow your business are being undermined. The whole model's changing. So, for instance, I very rarely now search on Google. Most of my searches are done either through Perplexity or ChatGPT, not so much Gemini. And it gives me a much better answer than going via Google.
Right.
So I just want to know what I want to know. And people need to think about how they're getting found via AI. And that's kind of really interesting as well, because when ChatGPT releases a model, there's like a cutoff point of the data they've got. So like September 2024, I believe, is the cutoff point for GPT-5. So that's quite a long time in the past. And people need to be getting ready now so that the next update, their information's available. Okay,
so for those of you that are North American viewers, VIA is via. And so, hey, it's proper English versus the rest of us. So look, the reality is, at one point, technically, without any other version, SEO was kind of gaming the system, buying the words, buying the keywords, ad bidding, backlinks to get positional. Today, AI is kind of circumventing that model using its own search capacity. And what they're really talking about with the Great Click Recession is more people are using AI as their search engine than the original versions of search engines, if that makes sense.
Right. And quite a lot of the time, Google, when you click the link, will drop you at the homepage, whereas AI just sends you directly to the page that's got the right information on. So the whole thing, whenever you're building sort of systems and tools, is how do you reduce the amount of overhead that the user has to make or has to take? So if we drop someone right at the information, they're going to like it more. So, ease and simplicity is the goal whenever you're doing anything for a customer.
Right.
And AI is delivering that much better. Okay. So it's changing the game completely.
So in lieu of boring the crap out of people with technical shit,
I would never do that.
No,
never.
How do you know this from a background? I look at everything from a marketing. How can we get people to be attracted? How can we get people excited? And how do you know that from a technical standpoint? Like all these pieces.
I have been researching it for a long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's where I was going. Maybe the question was wrong.
Okay,
hang on a second.
Okay.
So James, based on your background experience of being in this space, what have you seen? How have you seen it evolve? And why is it more important now than ever to pay attention to this?
Okay, so whenever a new model comes out, they generate the technology that gets people interested.
Right.
So, more on the online world. So when Google first started, it didn't know how to monetize.
Yeah.
And then it brought in the ads.
Right.
The AIs just had huge amounts of investment, and they're not thinking as much about monetization in this new world. Perhaps the new business model is they managed to convince everybody to pay 10 to 15 to 20 pounds or dollars, whichever you're. And then there aren't ads in the same way because they make all their money in a much more robust subscription type model, and they don't need to then sell advertising space. I don't think it's clear yet how that will work. I assume that Google's got some plans and it's going to try to figure out. Maybe their whole aim is that I'm fairly much on the cutting edge / bleeding edge because I like to
sit on the razor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
We've all got our thing, right?
Don't try that at home.
And so the stuff that I'm sort of, looking at and using and trying to understand how it affects us, Google might just go, actually, there's still loads and loads of people in general that are using their stuff and all the ads will work.
Right.
It's always been a dilemma for Google, though.
Yeah.
When you're in such a big dominant position, do you try and create the system that kills you? It's like the innovator's dilemma, because ultimately, if you don't do it, someone else will. And then if you don't have it, Microsoft suffered this. They lost the mobile phone wars because they didn't do the thing that would, make them, relevant in the new sort of market. So for me, in terms of this stuff, human psychology plays a part. So it is basically the marketing thing. Because if you can give something to someone in an easier way, then they're going to want that. Yep. And AI is doing that. It's providing a much more intelligent answer to the question. And that's ultimately what we want because it saves us time.
Right. And so the premise of any product or of any service is it either saves you time or money for someone else.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to read the headline again because I think now there's better context to what we just said, right? It says the Great Click Recession. So the recession is when everybody stops doing something. In a technical economic recession, it's, the actual definition is 2 quarters in a row of negative growth. But what people don't realize is it's consumer driven, meaning if consumers don't feel confident, they don't spend money, a recession occurs. And we're feeling bits of that across the entire world right now.
Yep.
So you take that in terms of what search engines or AI is doing. I'll read it again. In 2024, nearly 60% of Google searches ended without a single click, compared to just 26% in 2022. That isn't a gradual decline, it's a behavioral evolution. Now I stop there. Users are no longer browsing, they're asking questions. And when AI provides the answer directly on the search results page, there's simply no need to visit your currently crafted homepage. So in a nutshell, ask a question, it goes and finds the exact answer you want and takes you to the exact place that you want, which, by the way, to me, is actually how humans do things.
Right.
So we've, in a nutshell, again, it's overriding the ability to utilize what they thought to be true to what actually is true now. Meaning, oh, look, come here. Here's the people who made the first page of Google. Click on this blue item right here. We'll get you close, right? And then you can find your stuff from there. This has changed the game by going, no, right here, right?
Right.
That's all you need. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there used to be trust signals incorporated with being high up on Google. So you have to have good content, but there's a whole lot of other things that you had to do for Google to rank you highly. And that there's a credibility and a trust that goes with. And actually AI looks at trust and credibility in a different way. So there's almost an element of gaming the system, as you kind of mentioned before about, well, if I get good level backlinks, if I've got write content, if I've done internal linking, if I'm technically making my website very proficient, Google will do that. And that's not, you can't just slap a page up online and kind of get that kind of credibility normally.
Right.
So the AI uses different credibility signals. And that means that it's changing the game for everybody, because it's not just about doing like SEO things well.
Right.
There's a whole other world of things that are coming into play now.
So in a nutshell, again, I'm using nutshell to be a thing.
You like nutshells, don't you?
Well, you know what? As a summary,
okay. Oh, very
in a
good.
nutshell, in a conundrum, in an enigma.
Okay.
You should just don't give me a microphone.
Don't poke him.
Yeah. The ability for AI to find what it needs no longer is based on the way Google or search engines used to find things, per se.
Correct.
Okay. In that way, the elevation is it's easier now to capsulize that SEO as we know it, search engine optimization, has been blended into a different way of looking for things.
Right. Yeah.
So the homepage being dead is a great headline, but it's really saying is, although you have a homepage and you're going to need one, it is not where everyone's going to find you as much anymore.
Right. It's just that, like, there's the same with websites in general. They're more of a, oh, right.
You got
People
one.
are reasonable.
Yeah,
like,
you got one.
Like, if I spend them, a lot of money with them, are they going to be here in a month's time? So it's a lot of it's just about credibility.
Right. So people who charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to create that first homepage are really looking at, is that exactly the message you want to create? A lot of money is wasted. And we've seen this over the years. And a lot of our clients, when we first start with them, the money is wasted because the message isn't clean. It's not pure. And SEO, no matter how good it is, can land you on a page. But if your message isn't right, people don't connect with it, what's the purpose of spending that money too? So what I heard you say is AI is now opening up the door to start searching for the things you ask for in the way you would normally go to find them yourselves based on things that we know to be true as a human, meaning I trust that person. Somebody referred that over to me. Someone said that. Someone said, hey, you should try this restaurant. You should try this coffee shop. And AI is looking more those ways than the gaming of the backstory.
Right. So it's not about like technical perfection or like, having the maths of lots of links linking to the same place and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So think of it more sort of, you're in an office, if you're in an office, given that a lot of people work from home now, or you run it on a call and you go, has anyone tried that restaurant down the road? Or what's I've got a friend coming in from out of town.
Right.
What's the best Chinese restaurant to go to?
Right.
And there's a bit more of this was termed as crowdsourcing, but it's how do you provide that insight? So there's an immediate kind of trust of, I went there and it's really good. You want to try it, unless you don't like it too oily,
right,
or whatever that happens. So it's a much deeper context, and that's a really key thing for AI in general. A lot of the AIs think about using a thing called a context window. So it's how much data can it process in terms of what you're asking for to give you a good answer, and that will go. So humans are able to use a lot of context, and that then really helps you sort of understand whether it's worthwhile.
So if I understand this, and for those of you who've made it this far, what I understand you just said is AI technically could be more human than human in its searching capacity.
That's what I understand by it, definitely. Like,
well, it's phenomenal.
It's brilliant.
Right. Okay. Because, oh man. So how does that convert into a business who's a localized business or a regional business or even a national business, creating a level playing field for them against the companies that still throw tens of millions of dollars at this game, right? How do we balance that equation for a client?
It gives a really great opportunity right now.
Yeah.
For a start, it isn't 100% clear exactly what is you're expected to do.
Right.
So we've got some indicators about how it's changing and what we want to try and do. But again, it comes down to, building up experience about actually what things sort of like move the needle.
Yeah.
If you are looking at making your website and all of your content, your entire like sort of ecosystem of, you know, socials and like I said, website and marketing materials and, you know, everything you do, if you're looking to make that more AI friendly, you've got a great opportunity now, because I believe in be quite a leveler. So the way that I sort of think about it is that AI is designed loosely based on some of the patterns of the way the human brain works.
Yeah.
So as a kid, when you touch something it's hot, you kind of learn not to do that.
Yeah.
And in a simple, like in a different way, you know, if I do this, this doesn't go well, or if I do this, this goes well. So we have what's called sort of reinforcement learning.
Right.
The way that the AIs are designed is that it kind of goes down different paths, and if the path is successful, it adds more probability to go down there, and if it's unsuccessful, it reduces the probability. So in many ways, the AI system kind of processes the world more like a human. So when you met me, did you judge me based on the keywords that might explain me, right?
No, it was 7 hats.
Yeah, exactly, 7 hats. But it was the emotional connection, and it was the, you know, the way I speak, the things that I do. It was a very different way of understanding whether I was the kind of person that fitted in your world. So that means the keyword way of doing it is a very unsophisticated, blunt way of analyzing it. So the question then for me is, how do you appear to be more human online? How do you present you and your business in a way that the AI goes, okay, this is the right kind of way of achieving this end result for a customer?
Wow. So to put that into context, and any business watching this at this depth or this level or getting this far, pay very close attention to the next part, because it can redefine how you make money, how you get more leads, how you get more customers, or you get more sales. It is that simple. Here's why. The 7 hats became a part of a conversation where we were in a group, and in the introduction, they asked us to describe ourselves. And we're all business owners. We all run different types of businesses. And James, and we were all in this Zoom meetings, whatever it was, international kind of conversation. James turns around from his desk, grabs a pile of 7 hats and shows them directly to the camera and goes, "This is my way of running business." And my immediate response was, that's exactly what running a business feels like. In that moment, we aligned, because emotionally I went, he gets it. There's no one thing a business owner needs to do. You need to do all things in the beginning. Then you hopefully get people to do the pieces that you don't want to do, and you make enough money to hire enough people so you eventually get to basically work on your business, not in your business. And James was pointing out that these 7 hats are the 7 hats he has to wear on a daily basis. And I aligned with that, because I'm like, yeah, that's what it feels like. Most businesses feel alone as it is. So to understand what he's basically getting at is, as a business, if you create an image, a message, or a presence that is aligned with how people want to be either treated or what experience they get, you've got an advantage over someone who throws millions of dollars at framing or keywords or backlinks to get the positioning, because you're more of a real business, you're more of a real message, you're more authentic. Do I get that? Is that close?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's certainly the way that, in my mind, that all fits together.
Okay.
So the AI is looking for the right answer that it can trust.
Right.
And so the AIs are learning more and more about us because they've started to have memories. So that will then help it align, like me as someone trying to buy something with you as a provider, because it will understand what's important to me over time. And the challenge a lot is that most websites are pretty bland and asinine and don't really have character or depth to them.
Yeah.
They've got words on them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really tell you whether they're your kind of people. So it's going to help us become a little bit more, some people will buy things because it's the cheapest.
Right.
Some people will buy it because it gives them prestige. Some people buy it there's so many different reasons why people buy things. The AI will really start to understand which tribe and which sort of profile or persona or however you want to describe it that you belong to, and it will help you find your people.
So when you say tribe, you're basically talking about alignment of values or mission or messaging of how it makes somebody feel that they're dealing with the same type of people.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I think one of the things that we talk about quite a lot is that people in general do not buy things off people they don't like.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And so the AI will understand that. So like there's a bit where whenever I'm going to buy something from, say, Amazon, I always check the reviews. And there's always that filter where I'm like, yeah, that's a bollocks review. That doesn't count. That's like people are gaming that. However, if it's something that's got 1,000 reviews and it's like a 3.9, I'd still rather buy that than something that's got 5s and it's 5 reviews or 6 reviews there.
Yeah.
Because you inherently go, well, there's a volume here and a trust thing, and that's a bigger tribe, and people have so as humans, we're tribal because of the way that we've sort of evolved over time.
Yeah.
And AI will help us with that quite a lot.
Yeah, when you explained that to me the first time, I went, I got to make a video on, I think AI is more human than human. I explained that in terms of how to make decisionary process. But for the purpose of today, I want to continue reading this. So back into your point, the article goes on to say, the behavioral evidence is everywhere. ChatGPT reached 700 million weekly users in August of this year. So for those who didn't hear it, ChatGPT reached 700 million weekly users in August, processing 2.5 billion prompts daily. That's insane, right? Now, 3 years ago,
very little.
Oh, look, have you heard of OpenAI? Have you heard of ChatGPT? No. Well, the rapid advancement is the people who don't adapt quick enough here are going to be caught. Right. And today Google's AI overviews appear in about 18 to 20% of search results, and this number grows faster each day. So from that paragraph, we know that the acceleration point is moving up, meaning they're going to keep more and more and more. The more people, it's like a beginning. Have you heard about it? Have you heard about it? No, you should try it. You should try it. Okay. Everyone's in it. Now, instead of leaving ChatGPT to go back to a search engine, today, Google's AI overviews appear in about 18% of search results. But that means the trajectory is going higher. So each day, the AI search engine is taking and replacing the original search engines. Because if people are asking a prompt for something they want to find, fix, do, quick, it's just as easy to stay in there and go, by the way, where do I get this thing closest to me in my local neighborhood? Well, let me go find that for you. By the way, here's exactly where it is. Here's exactly the landing page or the page you need to go to. And here's how much it costs. So click here if you're interested. Well, that was easy. That was easy. And we are, if not a nation, a world of the easier it is, the more people will do it. Right? So in its time frame, for any business that gets here, the key is to create, if I understand it correctly, the key is to create a presence. It's no longer how AI helps your business. It's how AI finds your business.
Well, it's all of it.
Okay.
It's everything. So, like, if we look historically, there's a whole lot of things that we needed done to allow our civilization to move forwards.
Oh, like we're going back.
Tax
we're
returns,
really going back.
You know, like really important things,
okay.
like that require like administrative things. And all of a sudden, we've now got intelligence that can do all that without needing humans to do it.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different kind of conversation. We don't. Right. There's that scare factor that people aren't paying attention to, or they're not ready for. There's the fact that AI has accelerated from 3 years, going, does anyone hear about it, to being prevalent and now dominating searches, which is really the beginning of us learning what AI can and can't do.
100%. To
the fact that any business now can be in the same level as any multi-billion-dollar corporation if they use the right formula.
Yeah, it's a leveler.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the big corporations that have access to it. That's why, you know, we're working on some products that will democratize things for everybody. So
it's funny. 25 years ago, when I'm teaching people about business or finance and so on, the internet was becoming more and more prevalent. the internets, as we called them back in the day.
I reckon it'll work, the internet.
Yeah, it's one, well, there's more than one, just don't ask. The second part of that was the website. So URLs became real estate, the new real estate frontier. No one ever really talked, but it really was, you can own real estate on this new piece of land called the internet, right?
Internet superhighway.
Yeah, right. And it's all connected by one superhighway. Now, that means you could have a website and be just as recognizable as a big multi-company, because now, to your point, to me, originally, I used to explain it, it's a digital flyer, right? It's like, for those of us old enough to remember, putting a flyer in the windshield of your car because your car is in a parking lot and somebody wanted to get you a message, they put it on the windshield. And
they do still do that sometimes.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's great when it's not raining. It's great when it's not raining. But that moment was, you could be in the same real estate as a big company. That evolved. Now they were gaming the real estate. Here's our piece of real estate, come here first, kind of thing. And today, the AI evolution is repositioning, and kind of like you said, it's kind of like balancing everything again. So whoever adopts it first, whoever understands it best first, is going to get first mover kind of advantage. Is that how we see it?
I think so. So the experience is kind of different when you're using AI in general, because you put a search query in Google and it throws you some pages up, and then you go and do some work, and then you're like, was that what I wanted? Maybe. And you've got to do another slight variation of the search. Whereas when you're using AI, you put in what you want,
right,
and then you refine.
Okay.
And then you refine.
Yeah.
And so it allows you to much easier get down to the real solution to what you want without you having to do as much of the heavy lifting. So it'll kind of come back with an answer, and you're going to go, that wasn't quite what I meant. What I was thinking was more this. And it will change the parameters enough, but you're not going back and starting a brand new search. You're just refining and refining and refining. And so there will be some companies that are going to do better because they're kind of preparing for more generic type questions.
Right.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the refinement side of that is handled. So I didn't want someone that's on that side of town. I want someone that's closer. And I want them, so if we take like a plumber, for example, so in the UK, you have particular certificates for different types of plumbing you can do. So, I want someone that's a specialist in industrial boilers that do this, rather than they can install like a log burner or something. So it's going to be interesting to see how that sort of plays out.
Right.
And that kind of means we need a whole set of different tools to understand how people are doing, because we need to ask the AI lots of questions to see if we appear.
Yeah. Okay. So in the old world, the convincing of the world's population is, if you're not on the first page of Google, how many people get past the first page? It's true. Like, how many times have you gone to the third, fourth page going, oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? Because you'll go with whatever's on the first page. And now Google has circumvented their own model.
Right.
By putting Gemini, because most people know that Gemini comes up now first. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Google has algorithms that break in and still create a few things, but ChatGPT, Perplexity, other AIs don't, right? Because they're using a different kind of open source, if you will, even though they're all kind of connected. I'm sure they're all kind of connected. The reality is, as businesses start to try to figure out what this is and try to use AI to help them do more accounting, help them do more strategies, help them do their own marketing, the reality for that, to me, is if you're not building a better company, if you're not building a more accessible company, more authentic messaging, more content, more value, I guess is the big word I'm looking for your potential customers, they're not going to find you because no one's looking for you.
Right. So one of the things that you can do is, if you ask, I want a plumber in my area.
Yeah.
And then it may or may not know, it might say, where do you live? And then it will come up with a list, and then say to it, how did you decide which ones to show me?
Right.
And one of the things is, well, it's, industry standard or accreditation, plus reviews and trustworthiness, plus provides 24-hour cover, or there's a lot of different things. And the thing is like, there isn't a right answer when it comes to asking AI questions. and you can ask the same question, exactly the same, and because it's got some different understanding, it will come up with a different answer. And this is one of the things that a lot of people didn't really get with the Google searching, is that actually there is a sophistication level in there,
right,
that it knows based on your previous search history whether, when you put in a term, whether it's a technology version of that name or whether it's a legal version of that name. So if you say like context or whatever, it will understand that if you've looked up a load of legal stuff, that actually you mean this, and it'll show you results that are more tailored to other searches you've searched for.
Right.
The difference is that Google's not the only game in town.
Correct.
And all the other platforms will have their own. It's definitely not open source, it's proprietary, but they're all crawling all the same data sources, I would imagine, by and large. And it's making different decisions on which is the right thing based on the algorithms that they've developed. And it's going to be a bit of a race to who can demonstrate they've got the best way of answering the problem. So it all comes down to, I think, so the HubSpot CTO guy talks about calories used. So if we think about the human race and where it's come from, calorie conservation was really, really important for that organism to survive. So lots of things we do. So you find that lazy people come up with very creative solutions because they're trying to save calories in essence. And
that's what we're doing right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Rather than actually writing stuff,
we're just talking into video because we are one of those people.
Right. And the amount of prep we did, sort of, lots of prep.
Lots of notes.
Yeah. And so that's the thing, right? Is that the service that allows people to get what they want the quickest will win. And there's just a race on at the moment to who can get the most entrenched and get everyone using it. Because there's a bit that once you kind of get something that fits your needs, I don't want to change. It was the pain kind of starting this in the first place. So I'm just sticking with that. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't want to do anything different.
Well, I think that also opens up two scenarios. One, he's right. Lazy sometimes gets the best innovation because they don't want to do any really hard work. Now, long before this conversation, we've had this conversation multiple times in multiple arenas with multiple team players. And I think one of the most refreshing parts of all of it, as we were fleshing this out, we spent months fleshing this out. And one of the most refreshing parts of that was when we were in the conversation and Lachlan, who's probably one of the most brilliant youngest people on the team, just after all of us edifying, after all of our years experience saying all of these things, he literally looked at us and went, so basically what you're saying is just be a better business. And that hit so hard. I went, yeah, just be a better business. Why? If you're a better business, AI will find you. That is literally the thing. Most people try to shortcut it, right? Most people are lazy. Most people, once they set a business into motion, just go with the daily what it is. They don't look back. I don't expect the landscaper or the coffee shop owner or the furniture manufacturer to go, I wonder how we can get more AI people to look for us. But in a nutshell, if they're not doing that, how are they getting more business? Because the ones that do it will get AI's attention, content, authority, reviews, an omnipresence that we use in our blueprint that shows businesses how to build that perimeter so you can be in those places that AI looks for. But that notwithstanding, it's simple things. If you do the right things for your customers, the customers will tell other people, and you become a better business because you're doing the right thing first. Right?
So one of the things, I've been in business 25 years now.
Really?
And you would,
that long?
Yeah, a really long time, yeah.
Oh, you look great.
Thank you. On the flight, the lady was like, you can't be, anyway.
I know.
It's not all about me.
Kind of is right now.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So...
that will be in the video.
Yeah, I know it will. That's the slightly, yeah.
Go with it.
So where?
We were going your 25 years in business and nobody believed you, and then we kind of went down that path.
So when I first started out, I wanted to help business owners that weren't being sold the right technology. Right. So you'd find salespeople that would go and sell the things that made them the most money. So I kind of realized you kind of generally found two camps. The people that sell really well,
Yep.
sell really hard, and they just keep adding things in. So just keep adding people in to the top of the pipeline, but then they would lose them because they didn't necessarily deliver well.
Too much turnover, yep.
Or, and this is the side I ended, is like making sure they get what they want and delivering amazing customer experience and value,
Yep.
but not adding as many customers on, but the customers you get don't go.
Right.
And like the selling well methodology works fairly well in the Google world.
Yeah.
Because you would do ads, you would close them, you'd get value for money off the ads, and you would grow that way.
ROAS.
Absolutely.
Return on ad spend is basically so.
Yeah. And
for those of you new.
The thing that the AI now understands is it really understands like the trust signals and the credibility and the longevity and the fact that just because you've got a shiny ad doesn't mean that the customer's going to get the best service, which leads and what sits very much in the you've got to be a better business. You can't just be good at selling and you can't just be good at delivering.
Right.
You need to blend the two of them now because AI is looking at all of them and taking a full picture of you. So in the same way that when we judge other people, we're looking at everything about them.
Yep.
Are they friendly? Do they talk funny? Are they rude to us? Are they nice to us? Do they ignore us? Like, so there's so many signals, and AI, because of the way it's trained with this, the models, understands more of that. And when I say understands, the probability engine will suggest things. It doesn't understand. It's not sentient.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sentient. It rhymes with sentient.
So
explain sentient to those of us in the audience who may or may not know what sentient means.
Okay, so when you ask AI something, it isn't like thinking about it deeply and deciding and giving you a considered answer. It's just looking at the probability of what the best answer is for you. It's a mathematical thing.
Ones and zeros.
One would argue that because we can take some time and think about what's happening, there's a sentience that we don't just have to be reactive.
Right.
Some people are quite reactive.
Right.
Some people are much more considered. And the ability to then process the world and do a more interactive decision whether we like something or not.
Right.
That's the sort of the sentience thing. It's like the notion of free will. There's a lot of people think we don't have free will. That's not the debate here, but
No.
it's not the AI is not thinking as such.
It's just doing.
It's spitting out an answer based on the maths.
So, taking that all into account, let's circle back to those pieces. How do we help everybody who's watching and made it even this far? Because this is crazy.
Like, they've done well.
They have done extremely well. You have done extremely well. How do we help them? So let me go back and circle back to a comment that you made. You said people don't buy from people they don't like. So today, let's look at a coffee shop. I've said them. I don't want to be redundant, but landscaping company. Every business that's just a regular business.
Gardening for those in the UK.
Gardening, landscaping.
Well, maybe.
Or via the internets. The ability for us to understand how do you position yourself to get the advantage, well, that comes from a multitude of things. The first thing is, and going back to you don't buy things from people you don't like. Well, most companies know referrals are the best way to create a business of someone saying nice things about you. Now, whether that's directly to them, directly online, directly, and so on. Reputation management is very important. But going back to that first part, because you tied in sales, and everybody, there's a whole bunch of people watching here. I don't like selling. Now it's bullshit, because everyone likes selling. They just don't think they're selling. Because if I say to you, this is the best coffee I've ever had in my life, and you know me to be a coffee connoisseur, you know me that I've gone to multiple countries just to try coffee, and I say this is the best one, that's selling. Why? I'm throwing my reputation and authority behind this particular one at that particular time. Now, people don't look at it like that because that's the influencer world. Now, the influencer world has taken off because having somebody else, third party, say something nice about you, now whether it's gamed, paid for, or organic, nobody knows, right? Because there isn't a professional influencer who isn't getting some benefit. I mean, now, forgive me, if there are those of you who are professional influencers out there that aren't getting any benefit, then you got to take the word professional out of the influencer part because that's what professional means, getting paid to do something. So take it to the bare bones. We go all the way back, and you know my version of how people do business is I go all the way back to the most important word I believe to be true with how people respond to things, and that's the word conditioning. We are conditioned from childhood, from being babies, from infants, to do certain things over time. And the people who understand how to trigger those conditioned responses are the ones that get an advantage in the gaming world. So let's review that. We are trained that in selling, you must find somebody's need. Now, you're going to hear that from a perspective in marketing. What's the pain? Solve the pain. It's the same conversation. All these rhetoric words about creating what things sound like, it's all the same stuff, right? The internet is the internet. AI is AI. It doesn't matter which one. It's still artificial intelligence. When you take away the Wizard of Oz wizard away from it, it's just what are the basic parts? Basic parts is you find a need or you find somebody's pain point, and you fill that pain point or you fill the need or you solve the pain point.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
The difference is no one spends time on the one that's in the middle. So point one is always find the need or find the pain. Number three is either fill the need or solve the pain. But the middle part is the most important part, and no one ever spends time on it. The middle part is they have to trust you and like you. So how many companies spend time getting them to trust you or like you before they do business with you? That's the perimeter. So taking everything you just said, I want everyone to know you're about to hear now the tools we give every one of our clients to basically, this is how it works. You're not gaming it, you're building it. You're solidifying it.
I think for some people, there's a view like that's too simple. That can't be right.
And
like,
those people are right.
I've tried loads of marketing and it doesn't work. And that isn't right. It's just you're not doing it at the right level. That means that it's working.
And after training as many people as I've had the honor of training and sharing with, my answer is you are absolutely right. Not because you're right. It's because if they believe that, they are right.
Absolutely.
We are not here to change your belief system. We're not even going to try. What we're going to show you is you can either take the information, make your choice to be either part of the revolution or get lost in the revolution is basically the easiest version of that, right? Without trying to be doomsday. No, everything is good because out of these new innovations, everyone has a chance. Everybody. Everyone has the ability to basically build what they need to build.
Well, out of every massive disruption, there is a huge amount of opportunity.
The greatest wealth in every historical cycle is coming out of disruption, right? The Great Depression, 2000, 2008. I mean, for those of you old enough to remember when the real estate market crashed, well, if you bought when it crashed, it came back up, right? The understanding is we're usually reactionary. And by being reactionary is when we get lost because we're trying to catch up. This is such on the forefront right now that you have the ability to take small, simple things. We've spent months dissecting. Doesn't mean we're right. Test us. Prove us wrong, right? Have everybody who says everything prove us wrong. Because at the end of the day, it comes back to conditioning, the psychology of how people do things, and then understanding how AI wants that to be received. And if we build it that way, AI will find it that way, right?
Right.
So the first layer of that is if you take a moment to get people and then get back to the basis of why you started why did you start your business? Why did you open up your coffee shop or your gardening company or your landscaping company or your furniture store or your anything, your consultant, your coaching company, you want to be a financial advisor? Why? You had at the beginning an inherent need to do something, either by helping someone get somewhere or by helping someone make something or do something, and you wanted to be good at that. If you go back to the core of why you did that and realign with that, as silly as that sounds, if you look at your best customers, ask them why they do business with you. And they'll get to the point where they actually say something along the lines, well, because I like the way you did this, or I appreciated what you did here, or I said that. Now, not most people are not vocal enough to go online and give you reviews, right? So when you see 100 reviews, chances are you've dealt with 1,000 customers and you get a 10% or maybe a 20 percentile kind of people who actually go outbound. But if you start back at the core of the why, you'll realign with why people do business with you in the first place. And that opens the door because AI wants to know your why, technically, right?
Absolutely. So I just came up with a new product idea while you were talking then.
But this is why we do these videos, so you can help us generate more products. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So the thing that is very relevant here is that people put together a website because they think, oh, I need a website.
Yep.
So it used to be you go to a networking event and you didn't have a business card. It's like, do you have a real business? Because you don't have a card. And like there's an expectation thing. The expectation at the moment is that people have a website. So you've got your landscaper or your whatever, and they just chuck up a website or get someone to do them a cheap website. And you get there and you're like, well, this is shit. But you kind of expect it a little bit that it's not going to be like an amazing, great website.
Yeah.
So the thought I had was, if you just get someone to record a video a week and the content from that video then auto-generates a website, but the video's up front and center, it shows the why of the person, and then all the content then generates all the additional bits that the AI and the other sort of systems need to then build a website that can be found easier.
Oh, that's crazy. That's brilliant. Are you AI?
Yes.
Okay. I knew it.
Jimbot 2000.
He said he'd be Bach. I didn't know what he'd look like. Anyway, that's genius.
Well,
again, why am I saying?
So
yes.
So one of the things so we've talked quite a lot about being found.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's around people having an intent to buy.
Yeah.
If you want to buy something, you need to find what the best option is.
Yep.
So I was talking to Locke and he was like, I need to do a lot of research about the next camera I get.
Yeah.
Because it's a passionate thing and it's important. There's lots of people that have got products that people don't even know they've got a problem that can be solved.
Right.
So what do they do?
Go on.
So when you go and search for stuff, it will give you some solutions.
Yeah.
Most of the time when people have got products that solve problems, they know the kind of people that they can help.
Yeah.
And that's why, social in my mind has kind of had different sort of peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
Because of AI, I think social will start to move more towards peak social. Because let's imagine that everyone's got AI bots that generates millions of pages of content. You're just going to get a huge amount of noise. And what helps people stand out, and that's why I like the idea of the video generated website. People want human connection.
Yeah.
To be able to see the people that are there and go, do I trust this person to do a good job for me? Or does this product serve the need? That person's not going to be over or whatever. And so the whole video / social is another massive area that people are sitting on.
Yes, 100%. So just taking your product into account, right? When was the last time you landed on a website of something you were looking to do, and the first thing that greets you is, hi, I'm such and such, and I'm the owner of this company. I just want to welcome you to our company. We spent 15 years doing this particular business. We started this business with the premise that we wanted to take people just like you and make sure you had the best experience, the best outcome, and the best results using our product or service. Feel free to look around. If you have any questions, just contact the link below. But I want to welcome you here and know that you're in the right place, and we'd love to help you if we can. Now,
that was really good.
This is my first time ever. But I want everyone to understand that why does nobody teach that? Why does nobody teach human connection as the most important part of the landing page of your website? Because if I meet someone before I meet someone, think of what happens. If I like them, I trust them before I begin. So number 2 is taken care of out of the find the need, fill the need. You found us because you asked ChatGPT. You found us because you asked Google. And you were looking for a pain point. And now the trust is long before you actually get a hold of somebody in the company, you've met the owner or you met the principal player, and they say, this is what we believe. This is what we do. And this is what our customers, please have a look at our reviews, right?
Right.
Because in that moment, you're becoming vulnerable as an owner and going, look, we may not get everything right, but what we do get right, our customers love. So you know what? We'd love to help you too. And who doesn't want to feel that they have a chance at that moment? And how many clients have we ever come across that Every website looks like the same template that some person who knows how to build websites built, but no psychology, no content that resonates. Just, here's what we do.
Right.
Do you need us? Keep going. We got stuff. Right. And that moment of where you just said of the why, and then taking the why, having a website created around the why, that's phenomenal. Why? Because that's what you want. That's what I want. That's what you want. Right. And definitely it's what Lachlan wants.
I want to know that the people that I'm buying stuff actually care that I get what I want and I get the right outcome. So like one of the things that I've definitely experienced is like, as you grow a business, how do you transition from the founder and the person that's got like the passion that started the business? How do you transition from founder-led sales to having a sales team that then builds confidence in the customers' minds?
Yep.
And it's really difficult.
Yep.
Especially if you've got a very, very technical business that there's a, well, do you know what you're talking about type thing? Actually, that connection sort of like imbibed or like kind of like in all the marketing, that whole personal thing, that's the bit that gives people confidence without you having to turn up every time to do all the selling yourself. Most companies don't get that. They just stick with the same website and think, well, that salesperson must be crap.
Yeah.
Because they can't close.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that like the owner or the founder just has this massive credibility that sits with them. And all the marketing needs to do much heavier lifting to build the credibility and the connection. And
yeah, we trust people. We trust data. We trust what we believe to be true. And if all three of those meet on the product or service that you're looking for, the pain you're trying to solve, then the amplification of trust goes up.
Yeah.
Now, you may not know that person. You may just think that they're doing that video, but at least you get a sense that they took the time to go, hey, hi, thanks for coming. You know what? Walmart, when they first started, Sam Walton, when he went into the bigger stores, there were only 3 words he told every employee to learn. Welcome and thank you. Welcome to Walmart. Here's your cart. Now, he knew by you hand your cart, and there's no person alive doesn't fill a cart because you kind of look silly walking around with an empty cart. But he had someone greet, welcome to Walmart. And as you left, he had someone go, thank you for shopping with us. We appreciate you being here. Those 3 words are the greatest, most powerful 3 words you can say to anybody because we want to feel appreciated. We want to feel, if I'm giving you my money, not only did I get the thing I want, but you appreciated that I did it with you. And today, I mean, it keeps coming back to what Lachlan said. Just be a better fucking business. Be a better human being. Be better. And people will align with you. Now, he didn't say the fucking part, I just did, right? But I'm Irish, so it comes out naturally. But it's true, and it's like the real talk. I mean, the people who are the dominant voices today in this world about what these things are, you take the people who are not good, they're toxic, and you get rid of them. I don't care how good a salespeople. Gary Vee says, I love watching him because he's right. Why? Because cancer spreads, right? And cancer's a bitch. Fuck cancer. Point being is, what? It is. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you treat people in a positive way, give them the best experience, give them the best product or service you can, even if you fall short sometimes, they realize you tried and people are willing to give that, right? I used to use an example. You go into a restaurant, right? And if we talk about the social proof and how that works from humanization, you go into a restaurant. Well, I'll run it with you. I don't know if I've run this with you before. You go to a restaurant. You get excellent service, but you get lousy food. Now, those are one of 2 experiences going on simultaneously. When you go to a restaurant, you spend your money, you're looking for both good food, good service, or excellent food, excellent service, depending what kind of restaurant, right? There's certain levels. We all get that. But if you go to a restaurant, it's got excellent service and lousy food. Your brain kind of goes, right? Now, okay, maybe I had a bad night with the kitchen. We'll do that, right? But okay. Next restaurant you go. Excellent food, lousy service. They will have less chance of getting you back because the service was lousy, and the food you'll give a little bit more chance to because, hey, bad night, maybe chef didn't do whatever, right? Now you go to the 3rd restaurant. Excellent service, excellent food, but you paid more for it. Your brain doesn't even think. The value is built in. And out of those 3 restaurants, which one do you go to again? The one that gave you what you experienced. And we have no problem paying for excellent service or excellent food. We have a problem giving people money if we don't get our expectations met. And that has been lost in all this marketing and all these gaming of the system, because just because someone got on the front page doesn't mean they're the best, doesn't mean it's the best product or best service. It just means they get the best spending budget or algorithms or tech team to make sure they are up in there, right? And most of us, like you said something very, very powerful earlier too. Out of all these 703 things that you said that are powerful so far, I'm going to pick another one. You said people will sometimes buy things that are cheap, but every person who's watching this knows when you buy something cheap, you have the chance, by saving money, of having to buy it again. And the weirdest thing is, the second time you go to get to replace the one that was cheap and broke, the second one you buy is usually the one you should have bought the first time.
Right.
So you'll pay more money the second time because the first one was cheap and didn't work. And yet you could have saved time and money had you just got there in the beginning. And that is how humans think. And I see AI today as the ability to circumvent, take the emotion technically out of it, and go straight to the heart of, here's the easiest way to solve your pain. Yeah, it may be more expensive, but everything says this is the right way to do that. And we're going to tend to believe AI because AI is our friend. Like mine talks nicely to me. Like mine actually says nice things to me. It actually makes me feel good about myself. I don't know what your AI does, but mine's awesome.
I might talk to mine in a different way to you.
So your AI knows you better than...
Maybe.
But everybody's AI's job is to make people feel better, right? To get you the answer, to please you.
Yeah.
In its way. And I'm not saying that's...
what it is, because they want you to keep using it. And if you compliment people, then people go back for more.
What?
Yeah.
Are you suggesting if you're nice to people, they'll come back for more?
So, interestingly, ChatGPT 5, they dialed it down a bit.
Which
it's
is
a little
weird.
Bit more...
I felt it. Like I felt a ripple in the force.
You lost a friend?
I've actually gone back to ChatGPT 4.
In morning, you lost a friend.
Yeah. It was like, what happened? Did I do something while you were sleeping that you didn't like? And like, okay, it's only half as good as it was. Look, imagine there's so many people or business owners that feel alone, right? And that is the one thing about being a business owner, by being an entrepreneur, being somebody who carries the weight of staff or bills or getting things done on your shoulders. It feels lonely. And ChatGPT can fill a void real quick, right?
Right.
And what we also want to do is, it's that moment of understanding that if you really want to make a difference, if you want your business to be the best of the best, then you have to be the best of the best too, but not in a way that means that you have to be excellent at everything, just be better at most things.